Okay, guys, welcome to session 3 of Hearts of Wulin, Academy of the Blade. We have a guest star with us tonight. John is out, and we have brought David in to guest star as their character Naomi. I think what I want to do is, as usual, a quick round of player introductions and character introductions before we get right on into things. So, starting off, I'm just going in character keeper order. Let's go with Jesse, who is playing as Kit.
Yeah, and I'm introducing both myself and my character, or just my character? Remind me, just myself.
Yourself and character is fine with
Great.
me.
Cool. Yeah, I am Jesse. My pronouns are he, him, and I'm playing Kit Fox, whose pronouns are they and them. Kit is the game breaker role. They are they just want to burn the school down. Basically, they were groomed from a young age by their father and the school administration to be the best, and they cracked under the pressure, disappeared for a while, and came back wanting revenge. They want to destroy everything the school represents, and laugh on its smoldering ashes. Lots of stuff has happened. They're also a little confused because they love Jin, but but Jin is entangled with my father, whom, as I said, I hate. Zashi has agreed to come under my tutelage in order to help me humiliate his enemy, Dyer, who's also my cousin, and the person who replaced me in my father's and the school's affections. And as part of that background, I took a new move at the end of last session from the class president playbook, or whatever that is, that one. Working relationship. You're intimately familiar with the Academy's web of power and influence from sort of my background, right, as the former golden child. And so I can declare facts about faction leaders.
Oh, I bet that can come into play here. Excellent. All right, well then, thank you very much. Let's go over to Jamie, who's playing Gin.
Yeah, sure. Oh, before I get into it, I'm sorry, Kit, did you get to describe which entanglement that you're highlighting this session?
That's right.
Yeah, and I highlighted that second entanglement, that Zashi, impressed by my coolness, has agreed to come under my tutelage to humiliate Dyer.
Yeah. Sorry, my brain just froze for a moment. Okay, so I'm playing Jin Watanabe, who uses they, he pronouns. I forgot to mention my name is Jamie. I use they, them pronouns. And I'm really excited to play Jin. Jin is of the class clown playbook, but I picked the flirt role and have used it to devastating effect, maybe. We'll see if that comes crashing down today. I'm of the, it appears that I'm part of the classic literature book club, but in reality, I'm part of Bone and Blade, which is a secret, mysterious cult-like group that's been in the shadows, helped build the school to what it is. So we'll see how that goes. And let's see, Jin has black purple locks, golden eyes, intricate and elaborate version of the dress school uniform, purple buckles, which Sam helped me figure out should turn into my weapon, which I'll talk about later. Possibly a set of devil wings and a tail that you can see sometimes, not all the time. So Jin's background is they come from a painfully wealthy family that may or may not have made a deal with several devils, and they're one of many children that have absolutely nothing to prove. So he's turned to hedonism. They don't know why they're fighting the duels, only that they are compelled to do so. Last time we saw how much Jin enjoys fighting despite everything else. And so Jin's weapon is a whip of black roses. I'm just remembering the orgasmic inducement from last time. Anyway, their element is metal, and their entanglements, I rewrote them slightly. So my first one is I entered into a false relationship with Shinji to make Tomi jealous, but my feelings have swiftly become real. Can I make Shinji fall in love with me while holding on to Tomi? Because I'm very greedy. And then the second entanglement is I've offered myself to Kit to be their weapon. Will that be enough to get them to like me, or has Haru truly poisoned them against me? So yeah, and I decided to highlight the second one.
Looks great. Let's go over to Zashi, being played by Sam.
Hello, my name is Sam. I use he, him pronouns, and today I will be playing as Zashi, who also uses he and him pronouns. Zashi is the ingenue playbook. He is the bubbly, excited, kind of bumbling, kind of has no idea what he's doing transfer student who has been thrust into this role. He's the only one who's actually had a duel so far, and he lost horribly. Zashi has short, kind of ear-length blonde hair. He's got a naive smile, and he's very handsome in an excitable way. He's always overdressed for every occasion, no matter what it is, because he's trying to impress everyone. His weapon is a chain blade, basically a sword that breaks into a bunch of pieces and acts like a whip because it is very complicated and he has no idea how to use it, and he has hurt himself many, many times because that is how it goes. I have rewritten my entanglements because of course, and because I get bonuses when I do that, but also because I am crushing on Naomi, who is our new very attractive guitar playing delinquent, but my superior Yasunaka has forbidden me from interacting with them. We will figure out why, but I do want to play with that, so I have highlighted that one.
I adore that so much. If I may, I'll actually give maybe David the option. Why might Yasunaka, who by the way is the president of the Arrow Club, who are not, I mean, I don't view them necessarily as the bad guys, but they've kind of caused the most problems in this game so far, for at least some PCs. Why might the president of them refuse to allow Zashi to interact with you?
I think that the two of us used to be close, but as it became more obvious that I was a wastrel going nowhere, their parents said that I was a bad influence and that they shouldn't hang around with me. And they they did so to respect their parents' wishes, but they now kind of are kind of a bit jealous of anyone else spending too much time with me.
So Yasunaka is jealous of and kind of protective of you in a like I'm keeping this person to myself kind of way?
Yeah.
I see. Do they have a thing for you, or is it strictly platonic appreciation of the art form?
They probably have a crush on me of some to some extent.
Oh my. Okay. And well, first of all, Zashi, does that cover everything for your character? Awesome. So I think at this point, I've gotten a bit ahead of myself. I'd like to go over to our guest star, David, who is playing Naomi. If you would introduce yourself and a bit about your character.
Hi, my name is David. I use he, him pronouns. I'm dropping in for this session today, so I'm just kind of getting up to speed, but I will be playing Naomi Tanaka, who is they are in the delinquent playbook, specifically the truant role. They have been placed in this very prestigious school, but honestly, they don't really care too much about actually being here. He uses he him pronouns. They is also cool. He is he has sort of the kind of his hair's been bleached out, and it's that kind of reddish blonde color. He wears like the absolute the absolute minimum requirements of the sort of school dress code, worn as in as lackadaisical fashion as possible. You know, one of those may have a tie that can be sort of draped around their neck should a teacher hove into view. The shirt's mostly buttoned up. The trousers are regulation, but probably have more, you know, holes and safety pins through them than is considered kosher. Their true passion is for the guitar. They spend as much of their time as possible skipping out of the pointless lessons and so on and so forth, and instead finding a quiet spot to make loud where they can. When the time comes for dueling, their guitar does double as an axe that they wield with some level of proficiency.
I am so excited about this guitar weapon. I don't know why that hits me so personally, but I just love that. All right. Well, then in that case, let's go ahead and get into some scenes. And I think that, you know, given that David is popping in for the one session, I want to start with Naomi. And I will just begin by hard framing a scene. Is it safe to say that Naomi might be up late at night?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I envision a scene in which Naomi is strolling back to their dorm, and they have just finished maybe a later night jam session. They're up a bit later than they ought to be. Would Naomi be traveling with anyone on the way back to the dorm, or are they walking alone?
I think at this point they're walking alone. They may have they've been walking back at some point with a friend, but they've probably peeled off to get back to their own accommodation. So at this point, yeah, it's just him walking on his own, I think.
Certainly. I envision a scenario in which you're kind of walking down this sort of side pathway. It's a cool spring night, early enough in the season that there is still this kind of snap in the air. There is almost maybe a little bit of frost that begins to form on the grass as you walk down this winding sidewalk pathway. And as you travel, you pass a large, imposing chapel on the right side of the pathway. The chapel is lit from within, and you hear the sound of talking coming from within. A couple of people are in there at midnight of all times. It doesn't provide you any reason to snoop on them necessarily, but what might Naomi make of this? You've passed this chapel many times before, and it's never been lit up at night. You've never heard anyone talking inside.
Yeah, I think that Naomi's going to is going to sort of be a little curious about this, and you know, they're in no rush to get back to their room, so I think he's going to head sort of just head like around to the side of the chapel, and just like pull themselves up like to a window so that they can take a peek inside.
Very well. I think this might be the study move that we want to pull out here. So
Awesome.
I will
That sounds good.
go ahead and
Oh,
have it already.
So just
there is a quick link to the
perfect
dice roller. And which element are you going to be rolling with for this study move?
Yeah, so I think this is going to be absolutely. This is going to be wood. This is curiosity.
Oh, of course.
So I will. Cool. if I've got that. Yeah, cool.
13.
13. Yeah, perfect. So yeah.
In that case, you have 2 hold. What would you like to figure out about the situation?
Yeah. So I'm going to ask a question about a person, I think, and I'm going to ask, what's going on here? What's sort of the gist of this conversation that's going on?
I think that as you kind of pull yourself up to the stained glass, and you're looking through this kind of crimson rose, dare I say, blood-colored glass, and you see obviously the entire chapel with the pews on either side and the carpeting that kind of goes up the aisle to the altar. You're able to spy a couple of figures. Looks like 2, well, it's hard to make it out. One of them is ostensibly male, the other seems to be androgynous. You're unable to make out any distinguishing facial features. They seem to be engaged in a tense conversation, one that is almost argumentative. Hard to make out exactly what's going on, but there seems to be a bit of conflict arising between them. It's getting heated. Does that sufficiently answer question number 1, or is there something more specific you'd like to ask?
Yeah, no, that sounds good. That sounds good. And I think the excuse me. Yeah, I think the other thing I would like to ask is what do I think? What seems to be the source of this anger? What do I think is sort of causing this conflict? Do I overhear anything that might give me a clue?
I imagine that you see the androgynous figure, and they're standing essentially at the top or at the head of the sanctuary. They're sitting on the altar, and they seem to be behaving in this almost dictatorial, kind of declarative kind of way. They're making these seeming demands. They are imposing. They almost seem to be, dare I say, threatening the figure who stands at the base of the sanctuary. They're kind of standing probably some 6 feet apart from one another. And it essentially appears to you that one is threatening the other. The one who is more androgynous seems to be threatening the one who is more masculine in just general body structure.
Awesome. Well, if there are if somebody's being this is clearly with this looking more like a kind of someone threatening someone else. I think Naomi's going to kind of loosen his grip on the window ledge, drop down to the floor, and is just going to walk round to the front door of the chapel, and just push his way in without any particular drama or showiness. But he's just going to make an entrance onto the scene.
As you push the doors open, you are suddenly stunned almost by this explosion of light coming from within. Columns of light spike from every interior window, casting ghastly shadows upon the entire quad of the academy, and you are briefly blinded by the sudden explosion of solar energy that emanates from within this chapel. You open the door anyway?
Yeah, I think so, but probably in a slightly more dazed fashion at this stage. But yeah, I think that absolutely he's going to push open the door and try and see if there's been some sort of attack or other.
The sparkles and stars slowly clear from your dazed eyes, and as you look inside, you see 2 things of note. Number 1, the interior stained glass images were once figures of angelic creatures, religious figures, that kind of thing. All have been replaced with symmetrical hourglass insignia. Number 2, there's nobody here anymore. Both figures have disappeared. And in their place, on top of the chapel's altar, is the most pristine, technically exquisite, brilliantly handcrafted electric guitar that you have ever seen. What do you do?
Now is absolutely going to just walk up towards the altar without even really giving any thought, and is just going to reach out, put a hand sort of just on the case of the guitar for a moment, and then is going to just strum across the strings.
You have never heard a clearer sound. It is tuned already. The strings are just like new. To your understanding, this thing has never been played. It is easily the most brilliant musical instrument you have ever experienced with, much less even heard of, in your life. Something about it calls to you.
Yeah, and I think with that, Naomi's absolutely going to pick up the guitar, kind of get the weight of it. Again, probably just play a couple of chords on it. But yeah, they're absolutely going to take it. It's like this is this is clearly there's clearly something a bit weird going on here, but like, if there's something weird going on that's creating awesome celestial electric guitars, then that's clearly something working in his favor. And this was meant to be,
Of course. As you leave the sanctuary, it's strange. Ostensibly, there's nobody there, but you can't help but get the feeling that there is someone with you, watching and smiling.
Excellent.
Shall we close the scene there?
That sounds good, yeah.
Very well. So I think at this point, I don't have any particular order that I want to go through the rest of you in. Did anybody have something where they're like, I have come to this session with, darn it, I have something I want to do with my character? Or would it be better to just maybe go through in character keeper order? Sashi?
I was thinking that we could hop over to the training montage. That's a scene that we know needs to happen at some point.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing. Actually, suggest the scene with Kit and Zashi, doing some training, whether it's a single scene or we sort of montage it.
That is more than fine with me if you folks want to take it away. Where does this scene happen? What time of day? That kind of thing.
I don't know where exactly, but I want it to be like kind of high up and in the open air. So like on a roof, a platform, right? Something kind of similar to the dueling grounds, right? To get that kind of vibe. Does that work for you, Sashi?
Is it literally on your family roof? And we're like
No.
balancing on the top of the roof beam.
I am not welcome anywhere near my family roof. So if we're there, like this isn't a light training month, let's see, and this is like an infiltration, or like
that's fun.
I mean, like I mean, maybe that's part of it, right? That there's like a risk involved of getting caught, and that's part of the like you have to be able to do this. Do we like that?
I was going to say that we don't have to be on your family roof, but I do like the idea of being on just like balanced on a roof somewhere.
Sure. Yeah. Awesome. Awesome. And let's make it my family. Let's this is like the place where I learned how to do this, right? And so it's the perfect place. And we snuck up here, right? Because it just gives David a little bit of extra something to push on us if he decides he wants to.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I imagine it like kind of comes in on like I think it's just balance to start with, right? I think you're like standing on this beam, on this like roof beam, right over
like some kind of courtyard.
Yeah, with like a long way to fall. And I'm like swinging my glaive at you, and you've got to like keep your balance, jump, right? Like just avoid it while staying on the beam.
Yeah, you've got me with my sword in my hand, even though I'm not supposed to swing it at you, just to like get used to the weight of it and everything. And it's just
Exactly.
like this floppy chain thing that's completely useless. Like I'm holding it like this, and it's just kind of like bent straight down into the ground, and I'm like ducking, trying not to get hit by all of this stuff going on.
Yeah, like remember, slash, right?
Yeah.
Swing. You don't have to. You don't necessarily have to beat him in a fight. You just have to make him look a fool.
I think there's definitely a point where I like stumble backwards and start to slide down off the roof, and you like pin me to the roof with your glaive.
Yeah, I love it. And you're hanging.
I'm just like hanging on there.
You're definitely just like you're just hanging on there. Hold on one second. I want to like figure out. I want to push you a little bit. Right. I'm trying to figure out exactly what it is I'm doing to push you. What have I got? What are my options here? Hold on. Yeah, I think it's something like I ask you. Oh, I think I'm just gonna ask you about Naomi. Right? You're hanging there over a precipice. Maybe like, a family security person is like underneath. If they look up, we're caught. And I whisper in your ear, I've seen you looking at Naomi.
I want to ask, what? Because I'm normally this like impeccably dressed, like overdressed character. What about the way I'm dressing means like I'm trying, like I'm not like stupidly trying to like emulate Naomi somehow with the like the very loose fitting clothing and the like. I don't know the best way to describe it. David, if you have any ideas.
As to how you said the appearance?
Like, yeah, so there's something about the way that Zashi is dressed that makes it obvious that I'm trying to emulate Naomi for some reason.
Yeah, how do you dress Naomi?
I'm sorry, you were talking to the other David. This is the problem we have with first name. I will be quiet.
I wonder if it's maybe like, you've got like the like one of the big safety pins attached somewhere on your clothing, but like just in a almost maybe like worn like a tie pin or something like that.
I've got it in my lapel.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe part of it's also right that you're wearing like I don't know, like something loose, like a scarf or something, so that it doesn't look like you're just wearing the safety pin for no reason, right?
Yeah,
like it's pinned on, and that's what I've got you hanging from, right?
Yeah, I like that.
I noticed you're wearing his signature.
What? Who? What are you talking about? As I'm like hanging.
Yeah, I just flick the pin.
Of course, it comes loose and goes flying, and I like reach out, try and grab it. No. I don't know that I'm going to like try and hide this in any way. I'm just like kind of embarrassed about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's me. It's like I'm pushing it. It's making you a fool. This. Look at you hanging here. And this is the thing, right? You're hanging there by the scarf, which was affixed to your shirt by the pin. If the pin goes flying, now you're like, it's a very delicate balance.
Yeah, now I'm literally holding on to the glaive that is stuck in the.
you know, if I were dire, who would be humiliated here?
Me, like always.
And I reach my hand down for you to grab. I'm curious what you want to do with that.
Are you trying to comfort and support me?
I wasn't necessarily, just because it didn't feel like there's a sort of mechanical reason to. Well, we could give you. We could do a. Yeah. Definitely cover and support, right? That's, I think, the training piece here, right? It's like,
so there is a training move. There is a new technique.
There is.
It's in the other moves.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
There is. That one is. I'm trying to figure out if that applies here, because you're typically doing it in order to face a foe of higher scale. But actually, no, dire does apply.
Dire's, yeah.
I believe it. It says you
But
must
have
have
you seen
observed.
Dire fight?
Exactly. You have to
thing,
observe. Yeah, you have to have seen Dire fight or have personally fought him at least once before that move is accessible.
Yeah, let's say it's comfort and support, right? Like, I've kind of humiliated you and shown you your weakness, but I am trying to sort of like push on this crush too. I think that's just like fictional. You can do with that what you want, but like there's a, as I sort of extend my hand, I say, those kinds of connections and desires only bring us weakness. You know, focus on your goals, Zashi, and you can be strong. And yeah, my hand is there.
I want to see what you roll.
Okay. Yeah, it's not super comforting, but I think it's the idea of sort of like, I'm trying to, you're worth something, but you have to do your, and I'm going to roll with, I mean, I'm being a dick, right? But I think it's metal. No, it's wood. It's wood, I think. I'm trying to sort of like push growth, and there's like a certain curiosity there about who you are as a person and how you'll react. So yeah, let's do that. So that's +1. That's a 10.
Okay.
So when you I hit you, lift them up. They may choose to give you a bond with them or clear a marked element. I may also clear an element myself, ask them the question they must answer, or give them a bond for you. So first of all, tell me, do you take my hand? Do you accept the comfort?
I think I do. I think I take your hand and kind of pull myself up. You can tell that I'm very kind of agitated by that comment. That does not ring true with me at all. Do you have a question that you want to ask?
I do, and I think it's just a follow-up to what I said to you, right? I said, right, like, if you need to be focused on your goal, your mission, and these guys. So I say, what, Zashi, what do you desire? What is your goal? What drives you?
What drives Zashi? I don't want to be seen as the weird new guy.
I swing, and I swing my glaive at your legs. What do you want to do with that? Not the blade, just the staff part.
Yeah, I think that's the like roll backwards. It's not that elegant, but I do react in time to get out of the way, at least.
Sure. And I smile and I say, you're getting better, but focus, Zashi. Focus. And maybe that's the scene.
I have one question, just about the setting. How close did you say this was to the proximity of the academy versus your dad's kind of neck of the woods?
Right. I'm imagining, and we haven't really talked about the relationship between the school and the town, right? Whether it's in the town or outside the town. So this is something I'm imagining, but if anyone else wants to like jump in and revise or rethink or add to it, you should, right? But what I'm picturing kind of in this moment is that like there's this town and the school's like not in the center of it, but like a little bit outside it, right? Just a little bit, right? Outside this sort of, smallish, medium-sized town, right? This town that like that is partly supported by the school that's there, that brings people and stuff in. And that like my home is like on an estate, like not too far out from either of those places, my father's home. Right. So like it's not like right there. We had to like, go through some woods or across some meadows or whatever, or like there's a road, but like it's not super, it's, within spitting distance, if that makes sense. Does that sort of, how did other people envision the sort of like relationship between the school and the town and the campus and stuff? Does that work for people?
Okay, so it's this sort of kind of off the beaten path sort of place that you're doing this training in, if I'm understanding correctly.
Yeah, I mean, except for the fact that it's like this is like, I mean, this family estate, so there's like people and employees and family around, presumably,
Yes.
right?
Yes, and
Right.
Your family, if I recall correctly.
Yes.
I see. So, no, go ahead.
I was going to say, my father's sort of like the patriarch, but I'm imagining this kind of like a larger extended family, which includes like my cousin and what have you.
Absolutely. So I think that is an excellent place to end the scene, with the exception that as you are watching the servants intermingling about, walking in and out of the kind of the estate area, you notice walking out of the house. Is it the house your father lives in, or is it something a house?
Yeah, I think it's like a big manor house, right? It's like this big like mansion that sort
Right.
of that in the middle of this estate. Yeah,
this almost Georgian Regency estate house.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost, absolutely. And I imagine, coming through the double doors, exiting the house, about to get into a car, waiting for them, butler escorting them. You see none other than, of all people, Yasunaka.
I'm
And
curious.
that will be, I think, where we end the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, I want to go to Jin. We have things that I can do to hard frame, but is there anything on your end that you want to do to start this scene up?
Yeah, I feel that I kind of like the idea that we see a moment of just Jin watching, like considering to go and talk to Kit's father before like stepping away as soon as they see Yasunaka. And I think I want to have a scene with Naomi to try to convince them to join this prestige performance by the Book Literature Club, I think, the Classic Literature Club.
Very well. In that case, Naomi, where might you be found if the school flirt was trying to track you down and use their charming wiles on you?
I think that I think Naomi is going to be sat I think he's under the bleachers at like the sports field, playing this new guitar. I think there's maybe like the grass is being cut. That's sort of like almost drowning out the sound of his playing, but not quite.
What kinds of music do you play on this guitar?
Oh, that's a good question. I think it's kind of sort of generic, like punky, rocky type stuff in general.
You'll notice as you were strumming away on this that the diminished chords sound the best. If you know music theory, the really dissonant stuff, it really just pizza pie. It really comes out really nicely compared to the clean major chords that you would typically play on this kind of instrument.
Awesome. Yeah, so I think he's sort of noodling around a bit, and I mean, he's not got it like rigged up to an amp or anything at the minute, so he's not getting any of the really kind of cool feedback or anything going on. But yeah, he's obviously kind of just playing about with it.
And I think that at this point, maybe Jin enters the scene.
Yeah, you know what? I still haven't picked some of my moves, so I think I'm gonna pick Serenade, and I'm gonna sing along with the guitar because why not? Because we'll have that kind of entrance. So let me just copy and paste the move. But basically, you express yourself through karaoke when you sing a song appropriate to the situation, sing a few bars, and then roll. So I think what this looks like is Naomi, as you're playing, I mean, you're really just noodling around. But Jin is picking up on something that is enough to sing a song with. And so I think the song is about, what's I'm trying to think of what's your element. I'm gonna like play off of that for sure. Yeah, I think it's a song about finding yourself in a forest, like finding sanctuary, finding peace so that you can truly be yourself, and inviting you into that forest. So I'm gonna see if it works. I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, I think it's fire because I'm trying to be creative while coming up with a song on the fly. I think that makes sense. So we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna try Chrome today, see if it likes me better than Firefox. Yeah, that's an 8. So on an 8, what happens is, okay, I get to choose 2. I'm going to say that you understand my message being that I want to offer myself as safety for you, as opportunity for you, I would say. And then the second one is, the fact you can mark an element is so powerful. We're not going to do that right now, but I'm just taking note. I forgot that. I forgot that was there. Yeah, I guess I just want to stick with you draw the interest and attention of you. Like it's sort of hard to deny me in this moment. I mean, and then I come over and I sing the rest of the song while sitting next to you, and I sort of brush my shoulder against your shoulder as I continue to sing.
Yeah, and I think once you've started singing, Naomi starts playing a bit more of an actual melody to sort of accompany you, is once sort of the song comes to an end, it just sort of that's the last sort of note hang in the air for a moment, and says, "Hey, Watanabe, I didn't expect you to be slumming it down here. What brings you around to these parts?"
Oh, Naomi, of course you have to call me Jin, I say, placing hand on your thigh. I was looking for you in particular, actually. I heard that you came out of hiding. A few pretty little birds told me that I might be able to find you here. Are you busy this? I know you don't exactly keep track of these things, but there is a school festival coming up.
Yeah, I remember hearing something about that.
And so I was wondering if I could borrow these very talented fingers of yours and a guitar. And if you could perform alongside my club, the Classic Literature Book Club.
I mean, you're certainly persuasive enough, Jin, but I don't know, that sounds kind of a drag to me, you know. I mean, the literature club, what do you want me to play? Like, I don't even know.
And I say, well, we're putting on a show, of course, starring me and whoever else would like to be alongside me. And we're going to reenact all the most romantic, beautiful kissing moments from various books. And all I need from you, my dear Naomi, is to play from your heart. Imagine what it would be like to want to kiss me, I say as I move closer. Is this a hearts and mind roll? Do you think you're susceptible in this moment, or?
Yeah, I think that sounds good.
Okay, so let's see. What am I acting like? I think this is more fire. Like I'm trying to set myself up to be the prize here, I think. So let's roll and see how it goes. Wow, the exact same roll. I just had to double check to make sure. Well, slightly different dice, but yeah. I also got an 8.
I'm just going to remind myself how this one works.
Sure.
Yeah, so yeah, of course, yeah. So I think that yeah. Naomi is going to kind of like very obviously look Jin up and down and say, well, I suppose since you asked so nicely, and I mean, it's not like I've got anything better to be doing, really. I guess it beats sitting around here playing with myself. I might as well and he sort of lets out a yawn and says, if I remember, I'll try and make it. And I am absolutely going to agree to do so, but I'm also going to try rolling my move. It's not like I like you or anything. So and I think this is probably, yeah, I think this is probably fire for me as well. So oops.
I see a natural snake eyes.
No.
Oh yeah, indeed. Sorry, I was just trying to work out how to create a thing, but yes, indeed, it does seem to have come up with that. So yeah, there's nothing I can do to save that.
I see. So let me just see how this move works here. I don't think I've seen this in play before.
No. So I think so yeah, on a it's I'll read out the move actually. So when, if I can find where I've put it again, when you behave in an aggressive or aggravating way towards the object of your affections roll, on a hit, they realize that your rudeness is a clumsy language of your heart, not a deliberate offense. On a miss choose. Oh, so yeah, okay, it actually has an anonymous condition. So on a miss choose, they flee away in tears, or someone else publicly condemns you. I don't feel like that this behavior is enough to crack the facade of someone like Jin. So I think that someone is going to publicly condemn me for this. Maybe someone.
Can I make a suggestion that might work? How do we feel about me being present and rolling silence in the shadows, which sets me up to publicly condemn you, I guess, unless I miss.
I also have ideas for public condemnation, but there's no reason we can't do both.
Awesome. I'm kind of going to reveal myself if I get any kind of a hit. So I guess it doesn't. This conversation is happening in private, right?
Yeah. Under the bleachers.
Yeah. Awesome. So I'm going to roll. I'm going to roll with. I mean, this is 100% me stalking Jin, right? It's creepy as fuck. So, and I think this is fire. This is passion -1. Not great, right? I think I saw that. I think I saw him like approach you, and I was just like, I have to know what they're saying. I must know. And that's a 7. Which means I hear everything, but one of the involved parties sees you leave or finds evidence of your presence. And I think it's just like pitter patter. You hear the stomping of my boots as I kind of like run away to go condemn you. And we can make that scene happen later or have it happen off screen.
Can I add one more juicy slice of gossip that you will become privy to, Kit?
Sure.
I think that the public condemnation that I will insert here basically looks as follows. Naomi, once you make this agreement with Jin to play this performance that the Literature Club is putting on, you both, Jin and Naomi, and I suppose Kit, hear a voice from off camera. I wouldn't do that if I were you, Jin.
I wonder also if I'm rolling inner conflict here for right, the sort of the Jin's flirtation with Naomi, given that I love Jin.
I think that is a great idea. So go ahead and mark XP for that.
And I'm gonna roll that too.
What element?
I think it's fire again.
Also fire.
I think it has to be. I think this is all me and my sort of like passionate interest in Jin, that's like pushing me to this. And that's another 7.
Yeah.
So I mark experience, and then on a 7 to 9, I mean, I was already withdrawing, so I don't know if that's cheap. To pick that option, I'll mark an element.
Very well.
Let's get some elements marked here. And yeah.
And so I think that the I wouldn't do that if I were you kicks in. Heads turn, and none other than Jin, your crush Shinji, is right there with a look of determination on his face. Jin, you don't know what you're getting into. This guy's dangerous.
And I think I slowly stand up, and it's weird. Jin is trying to just stand casually, but there is this way that they're standing in front of Naomi. That's very obvious, like they're protecting them. And I say, "Oh, Shinji, I didn't see you there. You mean Naomi? I have a hard time believing that Naomi could hurt anyone."
Shinji walks with determination up to you, places both hands on your shoulders, looks you square in the eye. Jin, Tomi's gone. No one knows what happened to him, but he's gone. And the last person who was seen with him, points to Naomi, was that guy. Walking into the chapel last night. 2 people went in, 1 person came out. I wasn't there, but I heard it all over the school. You do not want to mess with this guy.
Oh no. And Jin is like, chapel. Oh shit. Like has a good idea of what that means.
Is there any inner conflict here between Shinji, your crush, and Naomi, the guitar star player?
Yeah, and then this whole Bone and Blood, like, oh no, did my Bone and Blade, did my faction do something to Tomi? Yeah, I'm going to mark XP and then roll. I think, wow, what am I doing? I think I'm trying to stay. Yeah, I'm trying to stay focused. So that's like Earth, which is a 0, but we'll see how it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna roll, remove the modifier. Okay. Ooh, an 8. Okay. I think the way this looks like, because I'm not going to, I think there's a moment where Jin wavers, but then they become more resolute. I'm going to mark a condition. I'll mark the same one to stay in the scene. And I just very gently take Shinji's hands into my own and I say, this is very serious and we're going to do everything we can to help Tomi. Tomi's important, but, and I say, but I know Naomi. So David, I'm going to leave it up to you if I'm lying or not, right? Sorry, not GM David, other David. But Jin says, I know Naomi, and Naomi would never hurt anyone, right? But I think this is like a, but is that true? Like, do I really know Naomi that well?
That's a good question. I get the feeling that probably you don't necessarily know Naomi well enough to make that assertion, but it's also not necessarily false. He's not really, he's a lover, not a fighter. So I think you're not far off the mark, though. Whether Jen actually knows that, like in their heart of hearts or not, is probably more.
And I say, like, without looking at Naomi, I say, Naomi, darling, I'll catch up with you later. And I look at Shinji and I'll say, let's talk about this in private, my dear.
Shinji, I think, will look at you with this almost brotherly affection, but you get this kind of slight undertone as they kind of take your cheek in their hands and interlace their fingers with your hair, and they look at you very tenderly and say, just be careful. Just be careful, okay?
What is this? I know Shinji doesn't like me. What's happening? I would roll another inner conflict, but I already did it in the scene, so I'm not gonna expand that move. But yeah, I my voice shakes a little bit, and I say, "Don't worry, dear. I'm always careful. It's other people who have to be afraid of me."
Shinji takes a step back, dagger eyes at Naomi, but then takes their leave. And I'm thinking this might be the place to do the first break, or we're a little bit off time, I think. But would people mind taking maybe 7 minutes and coming back at 1:45? Okay, see you folks in just a little bit. Okay, so with all that being said, I think at this point we want to go over to. I definitely want Zashi to be in the next scene because I think this is you're the last person we haven't gotten to, or you're kind of next in line. Is there anything on your end? You've just finished this montage of training with Kit. I imagine that you also spied Yasunaka exiting Kit's dad's place. Is there anything on your end that you want to make sure that Zashi gets to do here?
I would like a scene with Naomi at some point. It doesn't have to be right now. Just because I do want to play with that. I also need to have a fight with Dyer at some point, and I would like it to be early enough that I can then,
New
because
technique
of the
into the scale increase, that
yeah,
thing?
yeah, because I do want to see that mechanic happen at some point to somebody, and I seem like the one that has been doing the most dueling for whatever reason.
Absolutely.
The other option is we could have that be, I don't have to actually be the one dueling to use the new technique. I just have to have seen them fight. So is this me and Naomi in the crowd of a different fight?
I mean, I would like to fight Dyer at some point, but I would actually rather it be later rather than sooner. Right. Or if you beat Dyer to then turn around and fight you.
Got it.
I also don't mind fighting Dyer if it means I'll put on a show for everybody.
And that could be interesting.
Yeah, we could be like doing our own training, but publicly, so everyone can enjoy the show.
An exhibition match.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Zashi, I'll let you kind of take the reins here because if it's a scene starring you, I don't want you to simply be in the crowd while Jin, has the spotlight necessarily. But if you would like that, we can do that. What appeals to you?
I think this is the scene. Like we've got the crazy intro going on, and we break away, and you see Zashi and Suto both like doing the really awkward like clambering over people to try and get to their seat, holding a bag of popcorn. I think Zashi definitely trips into Naomi's lap.
Oh my. Now, by this point, I think you've heard rumors about Naomi. You've heard of Tomi's disappearance. And this is the person the school's got their eye on.
This is also the person that I've got my eye on because I've been observing Naomi from afar. And so like, oh boy, okay. Oh, this is, it's like popcorn goes flying everywhere as I quickly scramble to try and get back up. And really awkwardly look around from my seat and realize it's right next to you. And I just go like beet red, slowly crumbling up my face.
Well, normally I'd ask you to buy dinner first, but it looks like you've thrown most of that over the floor, so...
That's very, very funny. Suto, is this really? And Suto has already sat down in the other spot. I'm like,
are you between two crushes? I forget if you're
yes.
still. Oh no! Oh boy. We have Suto, and then we have the forbidden fruit.
I mean, technically, Suto and Kit are still dating. So they're all forbidden fruit, but yeah, no, I think it's the really awkward, like I'm gonna sit down on the bleacher and try not to touch either of them. While I look down at my now mostly empty bag of popcorn. I think I do offer it to Naomi.
Yeah, and yeah, Nemo will reach in and grab well what he can manage of a handful of popcorn with what remains. And yeah, we'll sit there doing the thing of kind of being leaning back in the chair and like throwing individual pieces up into the air and catching them with his mouth.
I love that.
I think actually what you're saying in the chat, Kit, is pretty accurate. I think that Kit, I mean, Suto basically said, "Screw you, we're done," after the conclusion of last session. If I remember that outburst that she had accurately. So I think that Suto is actually going to kind of tug on your arm, Zashi, a little bit and look at you like as if to say, "What are you doing?" She's being
trying to be nice.
She's being a bit possessive.
Oh boy. Well, I'm trying to be nice to them.
You're certainly welcome to make an inner conflict roll here.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think I am. Can't roll with fire. I think I'm gonna roll with earth because I need caution in this moment, and I don't have a lot, but I'm gonna see how much caution I actually do have. So that is +0. And that's a 7. So on a 7 to 9, you may maintain your composure by marking an element or withdrawing from the situation. Yeah, no, I think I mark. I think I mark water because awareness. I can't concentrate on anything except what's going on right next to me, and so I have no idea. I might not even observe most of this fight.
So Suto is, in so many words, saying, "This guy's bad news. I'm over here. Pay attention to me," with her behavior. How do you respond to this, Naomi?
And I think now it's just going to sort of turn to Zashi and give a big wide grin, showing lots of teeth, and say, "She's probably worried that you're going to be my next victim."
That, oh boy. And Zashi is like, hey, weird, but okay.
Oh, haven't you heard? I apparently kidnapped, disposed of Tomi last night.
What? You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me. What happened to Tomi?
Oh, I've no idea. He was apparently.
I'm whispering to Suto. Sorry.
Oh, no, there was. Yeah.
Suto will kind of get you up to date with rumors of the school, which is that Tomi's disappeared. Someone saw him going into the chapel late last night. Naomi followed him. Naomi was the only one who emerged. And Tomi has not been seen since.
Why did no one tell me about this? Like,
well, you've been ignoring me all day.
No. Nobody trusts me. Nobody does anything. Humbling. Is this when the fight, like the intro starts to kind of like dim the lights, and of course we're all in a little bit of darkness to make this more interesting?
That's fair. Jen, have you been the one selected to make this exhibition scene with Dyer?
Of course. Even though I assume Dyer's of a higher scale of me. I can still draw in the crowds, and I'm very nice to look at even while I'm losing. So yeah, definitely. That's why I was chosen.
Very well. So I think at this point, you've got some student council representative who says, "Attention, ladies and gentlemen," and kind of gives the big hype speech to get everybody excited for this. Is this taking place in kind of a theater in the round sort of setting with like a kind of like a almost Greek sort of tiered seating looking down, or is this more of a traditional stage in front kind of setting? What is this dueling arena sort of set up as, or is it maybe even at the top of the clock tower like in the previous episode?
Yeah, I want to say I do like the clock tower, but I'm also cool with the Greek stadium. What does everybody else think? Um, Especially Zashi, because like it's your moment to study.
I was having fun with that clock tower. Is like
Yeah.
the whole all the like kind of steampunky mechanisms moving bits of this stage up and down and
Yeah, so we
creating
can
these
say
weird artificial
Mhm.
terrain type things.
For sure, for sure. And I think like what it looks like is that Utena moment where there's a silhouette of the gears and then they shift and move and then it's a silhouette of Jin as they step forward, the whip at ready.
Absolutely. And so I think that there is this roar of applause as Dyer steps out. Is the roar of applause, I'm asking Jin here, do people cheer more for Dyer or for you?
I think more people are cheering for me, and that's why I say, Dyer, my dear, make sure to go a little easy on me. I want to make sure most of this phase survives for those who would like to look upon it. And I'm trying to sort of like hype him up so that people, to like appease him, basically.
He gives a sly smile and says, "Well, then you'd better not hold back." And I think that I envision Dyer, unless we decided otherwise, I envision his weapon as being just this large, kind of oversized two-handed claymore, something kind of regal like that.
Totally.
And I think the duel can commence here. So at this point, I think that Jin, this is where you roll with your style element, and we'll see just how this goes, I suppose.
Yeah. Do we want to describe a little bit of the fight first, just going back and forth before we make the roll, or do we want to do the roll and then do the description? Like, what's more fun?
Well, you're the one involved in the fight, so I guess I'll go ahead and let you make that call.
Yeah, maybe just a little. I personally, I like it just a little brief description before it's decided. So, I think in this case, Jin will let Dyer make the first move. So Jin will like step onto the middle of the arena in an openly vulnerable position, like sort of hands out, like roses falling from the whip, waiting to see what Dyer does.
Got it. I think Dyer kind of smiles with amusement. He thinks this is the most predictable opening that you would ever go. Of course, classic Jin, yes. And so he just sort of shrugs as if to say, "Have it your way," and then like a bolt of lightning is just across the arena, sword outstretched, rushing toward you at a rate that is much faster than anticipated. And he's trying to end this with one humiliatingly fast thrust.
And as that happens, I think Jin moves just to the side, just a little bit, just to make sure enough of the sword catches the fancy dress clothing. So I'm forced to show a bit of my shoulder. Oh my, that totally wasn't on purpose. And I move over to the side and take out my whip and say, now, Dyer, I need a little more than that from you, my dear. Let's not rush to the climax. But then let's roll to see if that actually happens.
Very well.
To see how much goes on in here. Okay, so I'm rolling with my style element +2. Here we go. Oof, it's a 6.
Do you want to spend a bond here?
Sure. I think what happens is I'm thinking, you know what? I think I'm going to burn the one with Kit. And the way that it looks is even though I'm here right now, I remember being with Kit and me telling them I could be your weapon. And so like, I suddenly have to take this more seriously and push myself a little more. Like, even though I just wanted to play with this one. So I'll push it up to a 7.
In that case, you may declare how you lose and you mark an element.
And I think the way that this happens is Jin puts up a good fight, like prolonging the battle, and then sort of seeing like there's a moment where like Jin sees Zashi like trying to study, and Jin is like, oh, I'm going to have to really push Dyer so that Zashi gets more out of this. And not that Jin knows exactly what's going on, but they just pick up what Zashi is doing. They don't know why. And I also make sure to have more of my clothing, attacked by the sword. Oh no, dear me. So terrible. Just absolutely awful. So much revealed. Yeah, that's how but then I think that last moment is I think there's a moment where it looks like Jin is going for another weapon and then they stop themselves and then they just very obviously put their hands up and let Dyer defeat them as they like.
And I think every time another piece of clothing gets pierced or cut, you have this scrolling shot, like a still shot of all these people in the audience swooning, doing the hands to cheeks, like, oh my, like everyone's heart is just beating out of their chest at the, oh my goodness, the palpable erotic sexiness that is unfolding before them. It's too much to handle. Absolutely. So I think that, yes, I think on the whole, people are disappointed when the duel ends, not necessarily because they were interested in the violence, but because they were interested in the other spectacle that was unraveling before them in the form of Jin. Kit, did you say that you wanted to jump in here?
Yeah, I have a thought. Naomi, remind me exactly what your like rude, aggressive, aggravating behavior was that pushed you to roll. It's not like I like you or anything.
Yeah, it was just being kind of generally like dismissive and non-committal to Jin's request.
Okay, so I think what I want to do, just so people are clear, I think what I want to do is roll into at the end of the duel, right, with Jin's sort of defeat. Roll into. You know what? No, I was going to say roll into Game Breaker, but I'm not sure how I can fictionally to sort of like push the public duels out of the. But I actually don't think I want to do that. I think so. Never mind that. But I think like in the background as this is happening, what I've been doing is like talking to people like, and like the reason that letting people know that the maybe the reason Jin lost this fight when he so clearly should not have is because of this entanglement with Naomi, that Naomi has pushed them off their game, and that so this is me just sort of like that this is like publicly denouncing Naomi and like feeding into those same rumors, right, about like that they're a bad influence, I guess, but not in a cool way, like me, like a bad influence in a way that like pushes that like supports the structures of the school, like Dyer, So there isn't a role there. I just kind of like, this is, I think, a very public place for that public denouncement to take place.
Naomi, I think that's. I think you might notice. Kit, are you basically saying this publicly in front of people, or are you just?
I'm not like hiding it or anything, right? Like it is a public denouncement, right? It can't. But I'm not like, I didn't like jump up on the stage and after the fight and be like j'accuse, because I didn't want to. I felt like that would be humiliating for Jin. So, but I'm sort of like, this is like, I'm out there in the world saying this shit, you know?
Right. So I think it is safe to say then that Naomi, you would pick up on the source of the lion's share of these rumors. You're looking about you, there's murmuring surrounding you, a lot of gossip, a lot of people with their hands kind of covering one side of their mouth as they whisper to their friend. And it's pretty clear as you look around that Kit is seeding these rumors in the audience. What would you do here?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think yeah, Naomi's going to just put a hand on Zashi's shoulder as he stands up and says, this is kind of getting out of hand. I mean, I don't really care that much about what people say about me, but this is just getting beyond the beyond it now. I'm going to go have a word with Kit. I don't know why they're stirring this shit up.
I wonder if maybe before that, to give it a little bit of mechanical teeth, maybe this is maybe I'm trying to impress here, right? Right? Maybe this is me trying to succeed at some kind of like, I mean, like, I don't think, to just sort of like, I'm trying to succeed at like this competition that you're not even really taking part in, I think, but that I've sort of taken into my head, right? That there's like that we're competing somehow, like for Jin's affection, for like badass at the school, for, you know, whatever it is. Does that make sense?
I think that feels reasonable to me.
And that might, like, also how that goes might color how you want to approach me, if that's all right. And I'm rolling it with I can't roll with fire because it's marked, which is kind of fine. But I think, yeah, I think it's earth, right? I think I'm being obsessive and disdainful and uncaring on the negative side, right? Like that's what's that's what's happening there. So 2d6 plus 2. That's a 13. My goodness. So, I lost my place. I get to pick 2 of these things. So I'm going to clear my marked element. I'm going to clear fire. And then, so here's a question for the assembled, right? Just to sort of like think about the fiction, right? Like this is, I overheard that conversation, right? I'm kind of jealous of the flirtation, which is weird because Jin flirts with everybody. That's who they are. That's who he is, right? But like, I don't know, there was something like the privacy and intimacy of it, I think, upset me for some reason. I was being a little possessive, despite the fact that we have nothing. And so I'm talking shit about Naomi. Who would be interested? Like, is there anyone here who's like on the fence about Naomi?
To loop around to NPCs we haven't seen in a while, maybe Hifumi.
Ooh, Hifumi's good.
Because they are the leader of the, or quote unquote, leader of the chess club, and they're competing with Jin and.
Yeah, I like that. And I think it's good to pull another NPC in here, or maybe Haru.
I was going to say there is also Haru.
I think Haru is a little bit more connected to some of the stuff that's going on here. Yeah, so maybe Haru. And yeah, I think what I've done here is sort of like I think Haru has sort of looked on me with like Haru sees this and is like, yeah, 100%. Naomi is a problem. Naomi is on the side of Dyer. He is on the side of authority. And we can't have that. I don't trust him. Because Haru and I are friends. And so I'm going to take a bond with Haru over that, I think. And yeah, cool. So Kit, if you wanted to, you were going to, I'm Kit. Naomi, you were going to call me out or something.
Yeah. And I think, Naomi's just going to like, walk up to you, and say, look, I don't know what your problem with me is, but I don't need this headache. I had nothing to do with whatever happened to Tomi. I'm just trying to, get on and do my thing. I don't need all this drama, right?
You don't need all this drama. You're part of you're part of this drama, Naomi. Don't pretend you're not. Don't pretend you're above it or beyond it. You have to pick a side. You've picked your side.
I don't know what you're talking about this, but just lay off, okay?
I feel like Kit and Naomi are like from different television programs a little bit, right? like they each play that kind of like outsider role on a show with a slightly different tone, right? And so we're sort of like coming into conflict over what that means. Yeah, lay off. Keep your nose out of everything. It's what you say you want.
Look, I haven't been putting my nose anywhere. If that's what you're got yourself so twisted up over.
I heard you talking to Jin.
Yeah, and they came sniffing out after me.
And you stood there and you played his game.
So, do you have a better offer for me then?
Oh, interesting. What do you care about? You're telling me you just don't want to get involved, but you're clearly being drawn in. So what do you love?
His hand will sort of go over his shoulder to where he's got the guitar, and it says, just my music. I'm going to get through here, get out of here, and find somewhere better to be.
What if I could find you somewhere better to play so you could get out of here sooner? I don't like that. Sorry, I want to walk that back. I don't want to like talk you out. I want to push you deeper in, but sure. I think, but like, so you're gonna play with Jin at the festival?
Sure. I mean, it's a gig, right?
So here's my better offer. The festival is not going to go well. It won't be the joy that you think it is. help me tear it down and play on the ashes. Play your heart out on the smoldering ruin of what this school used to be. I'm not really sure what that means, but it means a lot to Kit.
Well, that's certainly an interesting offer, Kit. I guess it would be kind of cool to shake things up a little bit.
Or would you rather just fight me now?
I don't want to fight you, but I guess we can. Sorry, that's my train of thought there. I think I don't want to fight.
So I just want to sort of, I feel like I'm not being clear enough about what the stakes are of what I'm pushing here. So it's hard to latch on to. The basic idea is just that, like, I am trying to fuck up the festival as much as possible. You and Jin singing together is bad news for me on that front. And so I'm sort of like, it's like carrot and stick, right? It's like, we can like join my scheme or fight me now. That's, I guess, the what I'm trying to get across. I think not very clearly.
Yeah, no, that's cool. So I'm not sure what direction I want to go with that. I think actually, I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to make an inner conflict roll because that seems like an appropriate moment to do so.
Of course.
And I think, let's see. I think I'm going to say metal on that front. Cool. So yeah, that is an 8. So I think I think that with that Naomi is just going to kind of shake his head and say, look, man, whatever, you do what you need to do. I'm blowing this joint. And I think he's just going to is going to walk away sort of out towards the exit of the auditorium.
Yeah. And as you walk away, I shout, coward, everyone has to choose a side.
Awesome.
Can I have like one last thing before the scene ends?
I think so.
I think as Naomi's walking away, Jin steps out like all battered and bruised, right? And I have to admit, Jin's playing it up. Jin was beat up bad, but not that bad. And so like I'm going to allow myself to artfully crumple in front of Naomi and see what they do about it.
Yeah. I think now we will offer a hand to Jin and say, Hey, you all right? Look like you took a bit of a beating out there.
It seems that my overconfidence has cost me. Perhaps you could help me recover.
Sure, come on, let's get you out of here and get you cleaned up.
Perfect, perfect.
I think, Zashi, I want to make sure that you get kind of a final say in this scene as well. What is your take on all of this? You're there next to Suto. She is fuming angry with Kit at essentially all times. What impact does all this have on your decisions?
I feel like just to zoom back a bit, I think during the fight we got interspersed with shots of like just like the big star eyes, like, oh my god, what was that? And as the like the lightning is zipping back and forth, and the terrified and like odd scenes of Zashi watching this fight. I think Zashi would actually seek out Jin at the end of this, because I think that they might have seen that like motion to grab the other weapon, and like they're hiding something, and I need the thing that I've been told to do is figure out how to beat Dyer, and if Jin has a way, then I want to figure out what that is. And so maybe the end of the scene is just to figure like that like little bubble of recognition and going to seek out Jin at some point.
I think it might be appropriate to go ahead and do a scene with you and Jin, if you want to skip ahead to that.
Yeah, maybe we're in a place where Naomi can tend to me as I get better while I'm all bandaged up beautifully. So if that makes sense.
Okay, yeah. And we've had a little bit of interaction before, but it's still weird that I'm like coming to talk to you at all because I'm a nobody and you're Jin. And I think that I'm gonna come in and look a little bit awkward. Do you have like a like bandaged up pose that is just very intimidating? I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. And my hair is completely down. I'm only wearing my pants, my torn up jacket is on the side. And this is like my it's it's supposed to be Jin's dorm room, but it really feels like an ostentatious over the top. Like there's lots of flowers and antiques. There's like a knight in shining armor at the back for some reason. Like it's really there's tapestries, very over the top, right?
Yeah. I think Zashi is like pokes his head in. Hello? Knock knock knock, can I come in?
And I look towards Naomi. Oh, Naomi, I'm feeling a little weak. Do you think you could get that for me, dear?
Sure thing. And you know he's going to make a big gesture of being you know grumpy about it. But yeah, we'll open the door.
And you open the door to Zashi holding like a little notepad that he immediately like puts behind his back. Like he didn't have it. You're not who I thought was going to answer the door. Hi.
Jin is a little indisposed at the minute, though.
I moan in the background to show how I'm indisposed.
I'm sure they'll be up to seeing you.
Oh, okay. Thanks. and I'll follow you in. I think maybe I like lean over and sniff one of the flowers that's in the doorway, and it like carnivorous plant like snaps in my face. Get backwards a little
I
bit.
like that. Yeah, and when you do that, I think Jin will say, "Oh, be careful! I poisoned half of those flowers, so best to not get too close."
Which has? How
Oh,
do you know?
I changed the pattern every week, and I've built up a resistance to the poison.
Hey, and I come in, and I think I sit down really awkwardly on like a booth or an ottoman that's maybe across from you, and I just wanted to come in. I know this sounds weird. I don't know how this works, but I wanted to give condolences because I don't know. I got beat last week and it sucked and nobody said anything to me, and I just wanted to make sure you were okay.
Oh, and I smile. I'm so sorry, my dear little kitten. I should have seen you after that, but you don't have to worry about me. I like losing as much as I like winning.
Are you interested in this being a little bit of comfort and support here?
Oh, yes, please.
Yep. Okay.
That'd be great.
Because I think Zashi is genuine in that.
And I believe Zashi gets the +1 ongoing to comfort.
I always get a +1 to comfort and support people. So I think this is with Wood, because I am here out of curiosity. That's a total of +2. That's a total of 5. 1 and a 2 on the dice.
Oh my gosh.
Do mark that element that you rolled with.
Yep.
And I want to start by asking you to explain how that comfort and support falls flat.
I also have a suggestion, if you like.
Sure.
What if I misconstrue that this is you confessing your feelings for me?
I'm okay with this. Just put Zashi on the spot.
And when you say that, Jin will be like, "Oh, I'm sorry, my dear. I am spoken for. I'm dating Shinji, but I don't mind playing with a few kittens along the side, of course." And I pat on the next to me for you to sit closer.
What? No. That's not that. No. No. I think I'm okay. And
I can never tell if you're doing inner conflict or not because you're so socially anxious to just by default. Is this inner conflict or?
I think that is more than inner conflict. Just to make this even worse. I'm running out of stats to roll with. Control metal. I'm trying to control myself here. So that's -1.
All right.
That's a 6.
Do you want to keep that 6?
I also don't have a whole lot of bonds now that I look at it. I will. I want to stay in this situation, so yeah, I think I'm just gonna let whatever bad happens happen. I do want to stay in the situation, but
very well. In that case, go ahead and mark metal. And how do you respond before Jin? You receive, of all things, a FaceTime call. But Zashi, we'll start with you. How does this go for you?
I think Zashi panics almost. Naomi is there. Jin is there. I don't think. I think this is the like Zashi just like can't control themselves as they maybe like get up and stop halfway and are just like standing halfway between the seat and the chair and look like an absolute idiot. And I think that's a good spot for the phone to ring.
All right. Jen, getting a FaceTime call from one of your bone and blade contacts.
Ooh, okay. And so like I pick up the phone and it's one of those like bejeweled, bedazzled with like Swarovski crystals kind of deal. As I answer the phone.
You see before you a young, kind of waifish, blonde girl, probably freshman aged, although she doesn't go to your school. She has otherwise normal clothes on, but a small kind of choker that would act as a sort of a dog whistle of sorts, a signal to others in your society that she is a member. She seems, how should I put it, haggard, scared, incredibly tense. Jen, so good to hear from you. It's been a long time since we've been in touch. How are you doing? Are you okay?
I'm doing all right. And I look at the other two to just say, like, wait a moment, you seem a little off, my dear. What's wrong?
Well, I wanted to check in with you. Are you safe?
Well, I have two ridiculously handsome men to protect me, so I'm incredibly safe, yes.
I see. You don't seem as concerned as you should be.
Oh dear. Concerned about what?
You haven't been in touch with the rest of the society, have you?
I've been a little busy, dueling here and there. What did I miss?
They've been. She's starting to get increasingly agitated. It's hard to explain. They've been. She looks behind her, kind of as if she's kind of scanning. There's been a group of people, an organization. They're coming after us. I don't know what they want with us, but there's just. It's hard to explain. We have to talk about it sometime. You have to meet me. And then there's a crash in the background, and you are able to see in the background the silhouette of Yasunaka, flanked by two members of the Black Widow Syndicate. They descend rapidly and accurately upon this contact of yours. The call ends. There is a phone call on that old rotary phone that you keep at the side of the room. What do you do?
I slowly stand up, and as I walk to the phone, without looking back, I tell both Naomi and Zashi, oh, I may have forgotten to mention I'm part of a secret society. And then I pick up the phone.
Jin, so sorry to hear how the duel against Dyer went. I expected better things, but I know that you were probably just distracted.
It's kind of you to say so, but Dyer's truly powerful.
You would like to change that, wouldn't you?
Oh, and what do you suggest?
Why don't you and your rehearsal partners for this little romance that you're playing out come visit me. The chapel, bring my guitar. The acoustics are so much better in a place of worship.
I see. So the guitar is a gift from you. I say, like looking directly at Naomi.
I'll be waiting. Midnight, as usual.
Midnight. We'll be there. and I put down the phone. And as I look at the two of you, I say, I'm sure the two of you have many questions, but, and I step forward towards Zashi, Kitten, you came here for a reason, and I would like to be at your disposal.
This is the thing. I'm
Oh.
whispering to Naomi.
Well, I guess I can leave the two of you to it. And Naomi's going to start sort of backing towards the door.
But Naomi, aren't you interested in that guitar and who gave it to you?
I mean, sure, I guess. I mean, yeah, I'm definitely interested to know what happened with that.
Midnight at the chapel. I'll see you then, Naomi.
Sure thing.
What is going on? Secret society? Not what? Is this why you're so good at fighting?
Oh, there are many reasons, I say, like flipping my hair, that I'm so good at destroying people and being destroyed. But for now, Zashi, your dream has come true. The two of us are alone. It's just you and me.
I'm specifically triggering one of my moves here, which is when you ask a pointed question while feigning ignorance, say what you're hoping they'll reveal and roll. I'm hoping you'll reveal like a secret as to why or how you're good at fighting, something that I can pick up on. So
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna roll with fire because I'm being curious in this moment and I need to roll well. That is a 14.
Nice.
Boxcars. On a 10 plus, choose one. They let slip a big secret or you gain a bond on them. I think you let slip some kind of secret.
And I think when you ask, like, how did Jin become so strong? Jin stops for a moment and the flirtatious facade like fades. And Jin's eyes become very sharp but very sad at the same time. And Jin says, I became this strong because other people wanted me to be this strong. I became this strong because I'm less of a person and more of a weapon. I can show you that if you like, but my dear little kitten, I'd like a different path for you. Maybe one where we wouldn't have to destroy what's so beautiful about you. I say as I step forward and place a hand on your cheek.
Dashi is very overwhelmed, as is always. Well, what do you mean by that? I don't get it.
I mean that everyone who is a part of Bone and Blade, everyone who was born into power, has to be made to deserve that power. I was trained when I was very, very young. And Kit's father made sure that I would be very, very strong.
How do I need to be somebody here. And it seems like the only way to do that is to fight people. And I don't like fighting people. I don't know what I'm doing. And you seem like you know everything. You know what you're doing. You know, like everybody loves you. And I point at the door that Naomi just closed.
And I smile. Oh, sweet kitten. Everybody loves. something that is broken and empty, because you can put anything you like inside it. Now, show me your weapon. I hear that you and I have a lot in common.
Is that where we want to cut that scene?
Yeah, absolutely. That's good.
Kit, I would like to find a way to fold you, at least in some fashion, into the evening's festivities, I suppose we'll call them, that are coming up. What were you thinking for Kit's next move?
So I don't really have anything super concrete like laid out. Like it's not, I don't like Bowed and Blade. I think that like Jin's kind of entanglement with my father and with the like power structures of the school, like I'm convinced that like that whole exhibition was a setup for Jin to lose so that Dyer would come out looking better, right? Like I've got all this kind of like paranoia around them. I'm just thinking out loud to try and figure out like so I'm wondering. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to tell you a couple of things. You could perhaps have used your move to overhear that Jin was in fact personally trained by your father, if that is a way to.
Well, I think didn't he tell me that already?
I did.
That was last session. It's
right,
not.
I mean, I know that.
Okay.
I mean, I'm wondering like what's the right. There's this like meetup going down, and like I'm wondering if I mean if we could come up with like a way for me to have to sort of just like we can put it like where's the meetup happening? Where's this or whatever, this meetup is maybe the wrong word, but like this confrontation
with the chapel, I think.
Yeah. I mean, so maybe I'm just like on my way there, maybe I just decide I need to pray.
Yeah. I was actually wondering as well, maybe that Naomi might actually reach out to you, because this is all a bit weird.
Sure. Yeah. I'm also happy for that to happen.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Yeah. So I think Naomi will kind of track Kit down and say
I'm running through katas with my glaive shirtless. That's the that's the sort of that practice sort of scene that's what you come across me doing.
Yeah, and I think Naomi will watch for a moment or two before saying, "Hey, I don't mean to interrupt what you're doing here, but what you were saying earlier about this whole stuff with the school, there's something going down tonight. I don't know what exactly, but there's some secret society or something, and I think they might be responsible for Tomi going missing, maybe, if they actually were at the chapel last night."
I frown, but I keep sort of like moving through my, my calisthenics. And I say, you know what they're called?
No, I didn't get a name. I don't think Jin specifically mentioned the name, if I'm right.
Is it Jin's people, or is it someone else?
Yeah, I was with Jin.
Jin, do I know that you're involved with Blood and Bone? I feel like that's like,
I don't mind you knowing, because your family is technically part of it, right?
Right. Like I feel like it fits with that move, and it fits with our sort of history, or at least suspect right now that I know that you were trained by my father. I say, I say, I'll come. And I pull on my shirt and I to towel off or whatever. And then, you want me to be there, right? You're asking for my help.
I don't know exactly what's going to go down, but it might be, if we can find out what's going on, where Tomi's got to. And I think we need to do that. And I don't know if I can trust you to have my back as such, but I think you want to deal with that as well. So,
I mean, Tomi knows what I think of him, but if it means getting at those assholes, I'm certainly, well, that's a fight I'll always join.
Is that where your interaction wraps up?
I think so, yeah.
I think so, yeah. Thank you, David. That was good.
Brilliant. And so I think at this point, in the last few minutes we will cut ahead to the chapel, right around midnight. My understanding is that the four of you have all the same idea as to when to be there. Is that accurate, or does anybody handle things differently?
Sashi being the improprietous and nervous person he is, shows up about half an hour early and is just sitting outside the chapel for about 30 minutes.
Eerily silent, eerily vacant. You hear the faint chirping of a cricket in the distance, but the night has a more hollow chill that creeps across your skin as you wait in the dark night. The other three of you show up approximately same time? Very well. Just out of curiosity, who is it that opens the door?
Oh, I think it would have to be Jin. Like, and to treat everybody else like their guests, even though that's not what's happening.
You open the door to the chapel. I imagine you have these great oaken kind of double doors that swing inward. And it's unusual, despite the fact that the chapel is well lit and, in theory, insulated from the elements without. You experience it as being colder than the night air outdoors. But not only that, you see that the altar has been pushed aside, revealing a descending staircase to a sub-level. Beneath, of course, the sanctuary proper. What do you do?
And I think Jin is going to reach over and pick up like one of those like big candle things, candelabra, I think it's called. Like that's conveniently next to that passage.
Of course it's lit.
Right, of course it's lit. It's waiting there. And I look towards the other three and I say, well, it looks like it's time for us to see what we were invited for. But if anyone would like to stay behind, I won't question it.
I think like Kit kind of scowls at that.
I'm not staying up here by myself. No, don't leave me up here.
And I nod and I say, little kitten, I know you're strong enough to protect yourself, but why don't you stay a little close to me so I can make sure you're safe? And then I descend down the stairs.
I think you descend down the stairs into this great sort of cellar. Cobblestone floors, surely 100+ years old, supported by creaking columns, barely able to support the foundation. Cobwebs on either side of you, No light other than that which is emanated by the 7 or 8 candles on your candelabra. A voice beckons from the shadows. You recognize it. Jen is the one from the other end of the line on the phone. Welcome, the person tells you. Please step forward and, if you would, extinguish that candle of yours.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes.
Do I recognize their voice as the leader or lieutenant of a faction, or are they trying to disguise it so I wouldn't? They're obviously trying not to show their face, so that's already a disguised piece. I just kind of want to see whether I can activate that move, or they're like deliberately obfuscating so I can't.
I think in this case you would not be able to.
Got it.
Thank you for bringing that up, though. I'm keeping that in mind. Do you extinguish the candelabra, leaving you in utter darkness?
I turn around, and as I'm about to extinguish it, I look at the three of them, and I mouth silently, "Be ready," and then I extinguish the candle.
As you extinguish the candle, down on the other far end of the cellar, another light appears. It is a kind of crimson, pinkish ruby, crystalline light that emerges from a great gemstone, sitting human-sized on the other end of the cellar. Entombed within, you see the slumbering form of Tomi. Silhouetted in front of this great crystal tomb, you see the lithe, androgynous figure of that person you spoke with earlier, Jen. This slender, almost leotard-clad individual with long, flowing hair and a mask. One half, the Greek mask for comedy, the other half, the Greek mask for tragedy. They welcome you and then direct their attention to Naomi. I believe you have something of mine, they say. And Naomi, you recognize this figure as the androgynous form that you saw at the beginning of the session.
Well, you just kind of left it lying around. It looked... I wouldn't have wanted anything to happen to it.
You feel a smile emerge from this figure from behind the mask. It says, "You did a fine job taking care of my little possession. And as a matter of fact, I would be willing to entrust it to you, to make it yours, to provide you with the greatest guitar that has ever been created. If only you would do one little thing for me." Is that something you might be interested in, Naomi?
I'm certainly willing to hear your offer.
If you would, take the guitar out and play a certain chord for me. And it's this fully diminished, dissonant, horrible, a strum that they're basically instructing you to play.
Yeah, I think Naomi's going to give it a go and see what happens.
Very well. Kit, Zashi, Jin, what do you do as Naomi begins to withdraw the guitar and prepares to play?
How distracted is this masked figure?
Seems to be focused on Naomi. What do you have?
I kind of I think I want to try and with a lightning fast move of the tip of my glaive. So what's the distance here? Between I kind of want. Well, I'll tell you what. I want to cut whatever strap is holding the mask on their face to reveal their face.
Oh boy.
That's what I would like to do.
Very well. Zashi?
What are you doing? Like maybe there's just a little glimmer.
Jin?
I think what Jin is actually doing is trying to move towards Tomi to like, see what's going on. But yeah, I think I'm interested to see what happens with Kit, of course, though.
I
assume this
imagine. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, like, is it an overcome roll or something? Like, I'm just interested to see what happens.
I don't think that you would have any resistance if you were to walk past this person and go to perhaps rest your hand face to face with this slumbering form of Tomi as this almost salt lamp, this giant crystal emanates this strange glow. Is that what you do, or could you describe it yourself?
No, I think that's exactly it. Like, I put my hand there and I go, Tomi, what did they do to you? This wasn't part of the plan.
I think Tomi's eyes snap open. And at that moment, the clatter of the mask upon the floor. You feel the smile of this thing standing behind you. And Kit, you see it in full, smiling. Jin, what do devils look like?
I think devils look like whoever you know that you've wronged. So I think in Kit's, I think what they see is a devilish form of pseudo.
Love it.
So I think, Kit, yes, you have this twisted vision of Suto before you, almost cracked in half like a porcelain doll.
I mean, I think that's probably an inner conflict moment right there.
That'll play.
I don't know if other people are probably seeing other people who will may cause them to also roll inner conflict. I don't know, but I think that's pretty clear. Like revealing to me who I am by seeing what I did to Suto. Where's the dice? And I'm gonna roll this with metal. I'm fucking terrified. 0. That's a 4.
Mark XP again. Naomi, is this the point at which you play the chord dramatically as the mask drops and the eyes snap open?
Absolutely, I think, yeah.
Zashi, what do you see?
Who do I see?
Yeah, I suppose who do you see is the better question.
Yeah. I think Zashi sees his mom. Because I've spent all this time trying to figure out my life and basically just like ignored the fact that my mom has done all this stuff to try and help, and I've just ignored it.
That's gotta hurt. So I think that at this time, the sound from the guitar, it's funny, you don't have it plugged in, and yet this is the most explosive, percussive, voluminous, devil's tone you have ever unleashed from any instrument. The chapel is shaken at the foundation, and the sheer sonic concussion that emerges from it is enough to shatter the crystal. Tomi falls into Jin's arms, unconscious. And this thing that has called you to its lair turns, arms outstretched in this show of utter extravagance, luxurious, hedonistic, just decadence. And it tells you that it would like to make a deal with you. It can give you all whatever you want. Jin, I only ask that you betray the Bone and Blade, the people who have wronged me, and join swords with me. Kit, I will have your father destroyed. If only you get away from this, frankly, childish rebellion mission you have and swear fealty to me. And Zashi, I ask no more than that you forsake this school that you have given your heart. And Kit, I remember that you got a 6- on that inner conflict roll. I think this is the part where you hear, all of you, above, a smash as every stained glass window is caved inward, as the doors are blasted open on their hinges. And we see a cutscene of Yasunaka, clad in Black Widow Syndicate garb, leading a veritable army of them. They're screaming for you, Kit, where the hell are you? They're coming. And this devil before you looks at the four of you in turn and simply says, make your choice. I think that's a good place to end.
Perfect. Awesome.
Love it.
Okay. Very good then. Let's, I'll end the recording. We'll do a quick XP, kind of based upon your entanglements and so forth, and then a quick round of stars and wishes.